more social on the motorcycle than I am in person. I'm really not a very social person. I kind of like my solitude. And so I don't say hi to people a lot, even at work. I just kind of walk in and do my thing. But on the motorcycle, it's kind of funny. I'm always looking to say hi to somebody on another bike. So a couple of you have asked me what bike I have. If you haven't heard me mention it on the show, because I do endorse Elkhart Indian Motorcycle, I figured I couldn't endorse them without getting an Indian. And my favorite bike in the world is an Indian bobber. It's a Scout bobber. But I can't afford a Scout bobber, so I got the Indian Scout 60, which is their entry-level bike. And since this is my first bike, that made sense. Plus the Scout 60, everybody says it feels exactly the same as a regular Indian Scout until you get into third gear. So really doesn't, I should say once you get into third gear, they feel like they're the exact same bike, but the 60 is a little bit easier to manage below third gear. So I figured, you know what, it's my first bike, let's do that. Plus it comes with way less chrome than the regular Scout does, and I hate chrome. So if I'm gonna do as little chrome as possible, might as well get the Scout 60, save me some money. It performs how I need it. Doesn't need to do anything else. And I can't afford the bobber, which doesn't have any chrome on it, basically. So I got less chrome. The bobber has the mirrors on the end, which I really love. I want to get rid of these. But make this black. But yeah, I dig this bike. So I had a buddy of mine contact me the other day, and he said, hey, how do you like that Indian Scout? I'm thinking about getting a bike. Haven't had one in about 10 years. Absolutely love it, folks. I really believe that Indian is onto something here. I read an article yesterday about how Harley riders are not having a lot of faith in the company. Now, it's an article, and you can find disgruntled people anywhere, and that doesn't mean that those people are going to stop riding Harleys or that they're not going to enjoy their classic Harleys. It's just that they're concerned about the direction of the company. And I am not at all concerned about the direction of Indian. I really like what Indian is doing. I like the product that they're putting out. This is a smooth bike. It is fast. It's faster than the equivalent Harley, if that means anything to you. I'm not in this for speed, but I have plenty of pull. So if I need to go ahead and pull on somebody when I'm in 5th gear, then I can do that. The regular Scout goes into 6. This goes into 5. But I've got everything I need. There's really no reason to get rid of this bike unless I'm upgrading to another Indian Scout that I want, which would only be the bobber. So now I get it. I'm a new rider. This is the first motorcycle I've owned. I'm brand loyal, that sort of thing. I endorse Elkhart Indian Motorcycle, but I only endorse them because I believe in what they're doing. And I've always been a fan of Indian, but once the new ownership, once Polaris took over and they started doing what they're doing now, I'm really a big fan. And I really think the Indian Scout Bobber is the nicest looking bike on the road. There's a lot of nice looking bikes, but that is my favorite. That's the one that I'm always drawn to. So when a buddy of mine asked me about it, I let him know I'm not having any maintenance issues. I'm not having anything. It's great. It's fantastic. I said, if nothing else, man, go in and go talk to them. And you know what? Just check out their bikes. They got used stuff too. So if you end up wanting to use Harley or a Victory or something like that, they got those in there. You don't have to get an Indian. But the dealership is great. You know, the folks over there at Elkhart Indian Motorcycle are just, you know, they're fantastic. Their business model's awesome. The dealership's a place that you can go and hang out. They have a lot of family-friendly events, stuff like that. I know it sounds like I'm doing an endorsement, but there's a reason that I do endorsements for them. And everybody who listens to my radio show knows that I do not endorse anything that I don't use and believe in. And I have dropped 2 clients in the past year that I no longer approved of the way that they did things. So that's just how I operate. Other hosts don't do that, and I realize as a listener you may not believe me, and that's fair, but that's how I do business. And I just love the people over at Elkhart Indian Motorcycle. Just dig them. And their product is top-notch, absolutely top-notch. You know, one of the things I was told about the Scout is that this would not be a long-distance bike. You're probably going to get tired, and it's going to hurt after a little while. Now, I've ridden it the longest, about an hour, and I had no pain, no discomfort. I didn't get tired. I've had no issues with this beyond the first 2 times that I rode it, where my clutch hand got a little tired because I wasn't used to squeezing like that. And I didn't even adjust the clutch. Some people recommended adjusting the clutch, but I said, you know, I'll build up my hand and see how it goes. After 2 rides, I didn't have any issue with the clutch at all. So I just enjoy it. I've been wanting a motorcycle since I was a teenager. And the fact that I finally have one, much to the chagrin of my wife, who also loves motorcycles, she's just scared to death that I'm going to get hurt on one, which I can appreciate. You know, this is finally an opportunity, and it was a gift for myself. For those of you who don't know, after I paid off my student loans, it's like, hey, I don't have that massive student loan payment anymore, let me get a bike. So I did, I got a bike. And like I said, if I'm going to endorse Elkhart Indian Motorcycle, I might as well have an Indian. I mean, I could buy from them and still endorse the dealership, but I might as well get one of their bikes and talk about it. So that's what I did. I test drove their red one, I enjoyed it, and I went ahead and actually test drove the silver one first, then the red one. And I bought the red one, had custom painted in the satin flat black with my logo on the side of it, which you guys have probably seen pictures of, and the rest is history, man. I enjoy it. So if you have been thinking about getting a bike, go take the abate course or whatever course is around you. It's worth it. If nothing else, you'll get on a bike, you'll figure out if it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If it is, go for it. I know that people don't do things because they're afraid, but you know what? You can die doing anything. I used to drive for a living, and the idea of getting into a serious accident, getting seriously hurt or killed is very real, but at the same time, you can't live your life afraid. You just can't. You're not going to live. You know, you get one chance at this that we know of. Make the most of it. Do what you want to do. And I know that a lot of people have brought it up, like, what about your kids? You know, if you die, you're leaving your kids behind. It's selfish. You know what? I'm teaching my kids to live their life the way that they want to live their life, which is why I'm living mine the way that I want to live mine as best as I can. And I want them to see that. I want them to not be afraid to do what they want to do simply because they could get hurt or there's a risk, because there's a risk in everything. And you don't have good rewards unless you take that risk. And that's what I want to teach them. I mean, I'm not delusional. This is not about my kids. I didn't buy a motorcycle because of my kids. But if people want to use my kids against me, I can use them right back as an example of why I'm living my life the way that I want. And I think, frankly, my reasoning is better. What good is living to 100 years old if you didn't have any fun, you didn't enjoy yourself? I spent most of my life miserable. You know, and I don't have much that brings me joy outside of the usual suspects, so, you know, this is a thing for me. Let me do it. Alright, so I will be at work here probably about 15 minutes or so. And I really just kind of wanted to test out the new microphone. By the way, the microphone that I got is called the Purple Panda. And it's a lavalier microphone. And I've got it connected right into my GoPro. Oh man, my gas light came on. I thought I got gas recently. Oh well, I guess I didn't. And yeah, Purple Panda, it's a great microphone. It's really cheap and totally dig it. So that's what I'm using right now. Hopefully it sounds good. This is the first time I've even attempted to use it. The first one they sent me was defective, and I contacted them. I didn't know it was defective until a couple of months afterwards because I didn't use it because the bike was in storage for the winter. And I contacted them just a couple of weeks ago. I had bought it in November of last year. No problem. They sent me a brand new kit, not just the microphone, but everything. And it has been fantastic. So great customer service at Purple Panda. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. I am going to get some gas before I run out. And because I forgot to get gas, I thought I had gotten gas the last time I rode. That's how long it's been. And there you go. All right. See you on the other side.